Welcome to the Unstoppable Profit Podcast. This podcast will give independent insurance agents all of the tools to grow your business and live life on your terms. Wherever you are today, if you're starting with nothing or well on your way to the success you desire, with the right people, processes, and promotions in place, you will be unstoppable. And now I'd like to introduce your host, Mike Stromsoe.
Hey, welcome everybody. I am in a session right now, which is also going to be revealed on multiple channels within our circles with the unstoppable Selah Hirsch. And Selah is somebody that I have come to know well. It's a privilege and an honor to spend time with Selah always. And not only that, we are going to be spending time together live at Be Unstoppable Boot Camp. I am pumped. I'm excited. I can't even talk straight. Selah, how you doing?
Mike, I am fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on today. And I've got to tell you, anyone who's listening in the room right now, better make sure they are buckled up. If they're driving in the car, if you are sitting down in your office, you better grab a legal pad and get ready to take some notes, because every time we get together, ideas flow, conversations happen. We are focused on growth, and I can't wait to see the goodness that comes out of the chat today.
Exactly. And, please give yourself permission to think outside the box. Think differently than you ever have before, because that's where we're headed. And that's one of the things that I love about hanging out with Selah, learning from her, learning how she's helping other entrepreneurs grow their business, because, branding is going to be one of the subjects we're talking about today and how it builds into your business. But it's really when you get to the point you're ready to take that massive step. And I remember that massive step in our businesses. And when we did it, it changed everything forever. So I can't wait to continue to learn from you and help everybody who's either watching and or listening to this learn more. But one thing about Selah, she brings a magnetic energy and vision to help business owners and organizational leaders break out of the generic, the same old, same old. If you keep doing the things you've always been doing, you're going to keep getting the things you've always gotten. And that's not what we want for everybody. And she helps them confidently build better, bolder brands. She's the owner of Express My Brand, a high impact brand development agency that works with companies, nonprofits, and personal brands to strengthen the way they talk about what they do. And she is a brand strategist. Again, Selah, welcome. You ready to get going?
I am so ready to get going, Mike. Thanks again. Let's do this.
Fantastic. So a key thought for everybody today, and please expand on this however you'd like. Bold brands. Bold. I mean, the pattern interrupt, the ones that stop people in their tracks. They say, wow, look at that. They're built by people who do things on purpose. And on purpose is something that you are all about. Tell us more.
Absolutely. I would say that is the theme right now of the day. That's the theme of this conversation. And to you agency entrepreneurs, this should feel like the lifeblood pumping through your veins, because every day you have to do things on purpose. No one started this agency perhaps for you, or no one's going to run it without your vision, without your leadership. From the culture of your agency all the way out is your brand expression. And you don't want to hear the word organic when it comes to branding. Okay. Organic is for other areas in business growth and other areas of virality and marketing. But in branding, it is all about strategic decisions and consistent actions that build a standout brand. And that's where you might be, perhaps in your agency growth. You might be, a few years into your agency. You might be a few decades into your agency. Regardless of where you are, I encourage you to dial in right now, because this conversation is focused on you. It's focused on your growth, and it's going to help your agency succeed.
Yeah, I remember my situation when I was in the agency business, because I am definitely a fire ready aim personality. And when my wife needs to say something to me important, she puts her hands on my shoulder and said, Mike, just listen to me for just a moment. That's the only way I can sit still. So anyway, but I remember somebody saying to me after we put out marketing material and everything, and for a number of years, and it was all over the place, and we were connecting with people. A really good friend of mine said to me one time, he goes, Mike, you put so much information out online and offline, but I'm confused about something. I said, what is it? He goes, who the heck are you, man? When I think about all the stuff you put out, you're like psychedelic. So at that point, we had the psychedelic agency. which was a good thing. They were thinking about us, but
that.
that's when we decided we needed a brand, and a brand that we could hang our hat on.
Yeah.
So
and that's probably because the psychedelic nature is, I think, what was coming off of just your brand personality. It comes off of you. You
right.
are magnetic. You are charismatic. People know when I get to be near Mike Stromsoe, I am going to be challenged to grow. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to listen. I'm going to glean. Now let's parallel that for a second. That's how you're known in your reputation. That is how you lead your life on a personal level, on a professional level. Again, that's not by accident. You are looking for ways to give out. You are looking for ways to be more effective in your life. And that is the same essence applied to a company. Just like someone would know you for these different attributes, to know what industry you serve in, and to know when I cross paths with this person, this is what I'm going to get. It is that same awareness. It is the same feeling and expectation of a company that defines their brand. In fact, if you think about it, why do you choose, to shop? Perhaps, why you choose to shop, and we could go run through all kinds of examples. I'm sure a few are going to bubble out in our conversation today, but I'll tell you, we naturally drive farther. We may spend more money. We may wait longer in lines, you name it, because we choose where we go on the transactional side. We know where we want to go for our business. And that's because we're drawn to those companies. We've identified with their quality, their values, their service, what they stand for, their status, you name it. There are dozens of conscious and subconscious reasons people are drawn to brand. But at the end of the day, here's a question to ask yourself. What is the awareness people have about my agency? What is the feeling that is attributed when someone thinks about us? Is it positive? Is it with servanthood? Is it with quality? Is it with good reputation? Is it perhaps, a frustration or a challenge? In fact, that's why probably a lot of people are pivoting, I believe, probably to the agency owners that are in the conversation today, because you are going to redefine that feeling and that expectation. And I'll tell you, the more you can strategically define the brand expectation that someone has for your agency, your team can rally around it, and they can promote that, and they can protect that essence of your brand, which will ultimately draw more people to you.
Yeah. And I was recently doing a talk for a large group of agents, and we were talking about Patriots versus Mercenaries. And that's what you want in your organization. You want an organization full of patriots, because they fight for a cause. They fight for a brand. So that's why it's important to not have, I'll use psychedelic again, but let's also classify it as bland. So if you have an agency business now, or any business for that fact, and you feel your brand and who you are and who you're putting out there into the general consumer's public is bland, how do you go to a better, bolder brand, Selah? And I know you talk about the 3 power moves. That take you to that better, bolder brand. Let's dig into that. And let's start it with this, though. What is branding?
Okay. So we've just talked about, first of all, it's so much bigger than a logo. Okay. Let's definitely make sure that's very clear. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Your brand is so much more than a logo.
We need to hear it at least 7 times.
That's right. We might just keep that. We can put that into a meme, like a GIF here on repeat. Okay. Right. Your brand is more than a logo. We've already talked about that it carries awareness. It carries expectation. It carries a promise. I mean, there's so much more that goes into helping someone have a remarkable brand experience. At the end of the day, you are giving people a reason to do business with you. Okay. And so it's so much further than something static, something ornamental. It's living, it's breathing. I tell everyone it is a muscle every day. It's a staff member, okay, in your office. They just don't need a healthcare plan. Okay. That is what your brand is. And a lot of people may not understand that. And so I don't want to make light of that point. You've obviously done a lot of work to build your business, and I want to commend all that work. I come from a family of all business owners, and I understand that, what's keeping you up at night, and it's how you're growing and the work you put in. There is no 9 to 5 in your world. Okay. And so I want to commend the work that you've done so far. And what I hope that you get as we talk about the power moves today are ways to elevate, ways to level up, to get to that greater place of boldness Because whether we realize it or not, the sand can settle a bit and that blandness can creep in. Okay, Mike, it is sneaky. Okay, it
Yeah.
sneaks in, and we're going to unpack that here in a little bit. And what I want you to see is that it's critical you dial into this conversation, because a bold brand is going to do three things to grow your business. Number one, it is going to have that psychedelic attraction we just talked about. Okay, the brand needs to attract people. It needs to draw them in. It needs to get their attention, not in a way that's fake, not in a way that's just a veneer, but out of a true depth of value. And I'll tell you some ideas today on how to do that. So it's going to draw in those new leads and those new people. Number two, it's going to help you convert them faster. They're going to understand what you do, how you do it, why it matters in a way that is far beyond a price comparison. Okay. Your brand is going to supersede the price and help you stop playing that price war, because people are going to see I'm buying into more of a team, into a culture, into a company of what I stand for. The product is a byproduct, but I get so much more. Okay. That's that conversion at a greater, faster level. And then ultimately it's going to help you retain more business. Okay. Because there are statistics out that say on average, an 86% of consumers will do repeat business at higher prices with a company that has a brand they can believe in and they can see themselves in. So in a minute here, I'm going to give you a power move to make sure people can see themselves within your brand.
So it's a complementary partner, if you will, to marketing, which is the attraction and conversion of more of your ideal prospect and client. And I love what you just said. It helps you convert more sales and retain more business. And I'll suggest that anybody that's watching or listening to this wants more of that.
That's why you guys are here, to be unstoppable.
So Magic Selah, please help us reveal.
All right, let's get this bland out of here. Are you ready?
Exactly. Get out of here, bland.
Number one, I want you to smash through the generic and stop using buzzwords. I believe branding actually starts in our language, the language of a company. Before we get to the look, we start in the language. And some people are like, wait, record scratch? What are you talking about here? And that is the power of a verbal brand or brand messaging. And if you think about it, again, a brand is living, it's breathing, it's conversating with somebody. And I'll tell you, I look through websites all the time. I just did a skim of about a dozen websites for people I'll be with here shortly. And I was looking through them. And again, kudos to how they've built their businesses so far, but that blandness sneaks in. And I hear just some of these generic buzzwords. They're industry terms. They're the ones that everyone is saying. Okay, we've got great quality service at affordable rates, and contact us today. I mean, just again, that real vanilla spiel. And let's be honest, I think vanilla tastes a lot better on an ice cream sundae covered in hot chocolate. It has no place in a brand. And so I encourage you, print out your website, get your team around the table for a minute. Look, put on a magnifying glass of vision and look for, how do we say what really matters? And you may need to almost draw back first and have a strategic conversation to say what really matters to our people. What is it that they need to hear from us? And that's kind of already starting to sneak into the next point. But you first have to go through and identify, where is this dated? When's the last time this was written? Okay. What are we really trying to convey here? Do they feel like they know what we stand for and who we are as a company? Because the culture on the inside of your company should be reflected on the outside of your company. And so my first recommendation is just smash the generic, look for the buzzwords, and then you can go on to step 2 here in just a second.
That is amazing. I hope everybody heard that. And if I get this wrong, please repeat it, because it's so vitally important. You want to take the culture inside of your company and move it to the outside.
100%.
And that
Branding
starts
from the inside out.
And the vehicle that does that is your brand.
Mm-hmm. It does. You can't disconnect it. And that's even another conversation for another day, that branding is truly from the inside out. You can't disconnect a company culture from a brand. The time will tell, as it does in everything. And that's what I want you to see. Where is the outside become dated? Because the inside should be living and growing and breathing and full of the people who deliver the value every day. So let's smash the generic. Now, my second tip for you on how to get rid of that blandness, this is my favorite one. So listen closely. I could talk about this all day. Is I want you to now turn up the volume and speak the language of your ideal client. Speak the language of your target audience. Okay, let's break that down for a second. What did I just say here? First, you've got to know your target audience. Who is your target buyer? Now, I know what products you're selling, but who are you selling them to? You guys, this is the most powerful, fundamental aspect in brand development. This will impact your verbal and it will impact your visual and ultimately your customer experience, because you've got to get in the shoes of your audience. You got to take a minute and remember what's happening in their lives and what brings them to intersect with you. Okay. So the way I love to say this to people, the way I talk to my 5-year-old is going to be totally different than the way I would talk to the president of the United States. Okay. Just because naturally I'm talking to two totally different people. Okay. And sometimes we just think we talk to everybody through our brand. And if we get hyper specific and we dial in on the moms, the purchase power may come more from a female audience into your agency. It may come from the business owner who's looking for more of the commercial product. It may come more through products for home and for lifestyle. That's more for newlyweds or retired couples who are making plans in different significant seasons of their lives. You may be dialing in on a marine or a specialty boat or niche type of industry. If you think about it, all of these people, if you were to meet them in person, you would have a different moment of conversation to connect with them. And the brand has to make a connection. And the way we make a connection, I'll bring this down here for make it really granular, is by dialing in and asking, what do they really need when it comes to what we offer? What do they really need? And then take it a step further and ask, what are their challenges? Or what are their frustrations? It may be tangible, it may be intangible. They may need more peace of mind. They may need to alleviate stress. They may need different types of coverage and quality and delivery and service. But if you take a minute and you understand what someone really needs, it is the job of the brand to speak the language back to them and draw that person into the story. That's how you turn up the volume in your verbal brand and ultimately speak and grab that connection and that conversion you're looking for.
And that's exactly how you turn everything up and attract your ideal prospect and client.
Absolutely.
And maybe disqualify the ones where they aren't for you. And that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want everybody. You want to draw the tribe to you, and they'll be attracted to you when you take away the generic and you're more relevant. They will convert faster when you speak their language because they realize you're talking to me, you understand me. Even if it's through your website, even through your social media, you're talking all day long. And that's when we turn up that volume, is when we increase that conversion.
Wow, that is awesome. Hey, by the way, speaking of what you love to talk about, should we tell everybody the secret?
Go for it.
I think we should. So Selah loves to share. She loves to teach. And we've been able to twist her arm. She will be at the Be Unstoppable Bootcamp this year, sharing live. And you'll have the opportunity to find out exactly what she's talking about in greater detail and learn more on how to build your brand. So thank you. We are pumped. We are excited, beyond excited that you're going to be there sharing, just helping people build their brand and build their business. So I got a question that just came out of left field in my head. So somebody puts together their brand, and then we'll jump back into helping people with the nuts and bolts they need to know. But somebody puts their brand together. How long does it take for a brand to catch on in a marketplace?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, the brand is not isolated to the marketing team. Let's make that clear. It is across your entire team. Every single person on your team is equally a promoter as they are a protector of your brand. So your entire team, from the time someone answers the phone all the way through to how your accounting team runs the receiving, all of that is in the brand. And so it comes faster to market when everyone is working harmoniously. And I find that so many times agency owners and entrepreneurs and business owners, they hold it, they carry the weight, they hold the brand, or they may just talk with their marketing team about it and they forget to let the others in. And so I encourage you, let the others in. Make them aware of what you stand for. Make sure they're hyper clear on what you want to be known. In fact, here's a fun little tip. If this is a great exercise to say, if I overheard two people, maybe in a Starbucks, that's one of the favorite places I like to frequent. People are talking all the time. If I'm in line waiting for my Starbucks and I just happen to just overhear two people talking about our agency, what would I want to hear them saying about it? What's the
Wow.
reflection of the reputation that we talked about earlier?
Mm.
And that's where we decide in advance what we want our reputation to be. And we make sure our team is informed, and we make sure our team is equipped, from talking points to upholding visual brand standards to having the liberties that may be needed to create truly remarkable customer experiences. And when everyone is working harmoniously like that, I'm telling you, it catches on like fire, because what people do is they become your word of mouth referrals. They become your patriots. They become your raving fans, and they combine that patriotism with the impact of your marketing plan to spread the news. And that's how you knock out the competition, because you've become a better, bolder brand in your industry.
That is amazing. Love that. From the vision to the intentionality to the redefinition of who you are to actually building the brand, which ultimately at the end of the day, a brand is more than a logo. I mean, a lot of people think, well, I got my logo, I got my print, I got this. No, it's nothing. It is that's part of it, but there's so much more. It's your first impression on everything you do.
It's the first impression, and it goes all the way to a lasting impression. And that's where we realize
Aha.
it never stops. It continually circulates with us. That's why you got to do this work. You want to attract more people? Smash that generic, get those buzzwords out of here, get more relevant. Number two, you want to turn up that conversion, get in touch, speak the language of your audience. And Mike, can I give them that third power move? Are you okay with that?
Well, hopefully they're ready for it, but we'll give them a quick pause. If you're not ready, get ready, because this one is going to be game changing. And ultimately, it is back to redefinition for just a second. It's why. It's why people buy from you in the first place. And more importantly, why people keep coming back to buy from you. Yeah, Selah, go ahead and tell them what it is.
That's it right there. That retention side. Attract, convert, retain. The retention comes in a remarkable brand experience. And you can't leave it sitting on the shelf. You can't leave your social media, just post and forget to not comment back to people. That's dynamic customer experience. It's creating conversations. You can't forget that a customer service, experience starts with the way someone answers the phone. In fact, I do a whole training sometimes that helps people learn how to smile when they answer the phone. And I know that might sound crazy to some of you, but hopefully even listening today, you can tell that Mike and I have this joy. We've got this vivaciousness that's flowing out of us because we love this conversation. We love to see you succeed. And so you're going to feel that through the phone. Sometimes I test as a mystery caller into businesses, and I'm not looking to get anybody in trouble. It's not that, but I'm listening for where someone has been empowered with an expectation that they carry that brand through their position. And so just think about every single point in your customer journey. Think about all the ways that you are bringing people in through your marketing, your email marketing, your social media, all the conversations your sales team is having. And so many times, if you can see what I'm doing here with my hands, so many times there is a laundry list of steps to take to make the sale. And then I find sometimes there's a short little list that comes with onboarding and a short little list that comes on with retention. These are the steps to take to onboard. These are steps to take for retention. But here's what I want to encourage you. As much as the effort you're putting in to make the sale, put that much effort in to bring them into your company and onto your team, to help them understand who you are and how you can serve their needs. Put just as much retention in on gratitude. Just put as much retention in work in as you can in when they need to renew, and realize the conversation doesn't stop at the sale, but it continues to live. And that's where I find that there's these beautiful strategies and these beautiful touch points that can be created that really builds a bigger and more dynamic customer experience. And typically it doesn't even cost you more money. It's not that much more. It's just the work and the intentionality to build that brand and make sure it's running across your team.
Wow, my mind is just buzzing with ideas based on what you're saying. That is fantastic. I mean, it's an investment. It's an investment in your business. But, for those of people who happen to be in the insurance agency business, I'm sure you've heard us talk about lifetime value of a client.
Mm-hmm.
And over how many years is that? So take your average annual account size, multiply it times your your average agency commission. Okay. And that gives you an annual commission, multiply it times your lifetime value, which is 6, 7, 8 years. And, building out and investing a brand is a no-brainer. But the other thing I'm thinking about, having a well-crafted, well-developed brand that matches who you are as an organization It helps you lay out the client journey and everything that you need to be doing as far as, whether it be recruiting and interviewing and actually hiring, or, the sale point or the retention point and everything in between.
It is. And that's where I want to encourage you when we talk about, getting bolder. Bolder doesn't need to be flashier. Bolder doesn't need to be what somebody else is doing. Bolder needs to come from you as the agency owner, as the leader within your company. You need to set that tone. You need to let your staff, be empowered to carry out. And that's what boldness looks like in branding. Again, yes, I'm all for bright colors. I'm all for robust, big, beautiful visual brands and big power statements. But at the end of the day, they have to be upheld by the company. Remember what we said, brands are built by strategic decisions and consistent actions. And at the end of the day, consistency wins every time. And so take this with a digestible thought here and realize, okay, there might be a time I need to set aside and just have, a few hours or bring my team together and ask some questions. Look at, okay, what are we doing to really attract people? Where do we need to shift our focus and be more in touch and more relational in order to convert at a greater level? And then ultimately, are we putting as much attention on the front as we are on the back end of our customer experience? And I believe that with the right people around the table in the right moment of conversation, you can walk away with about 2 to 3 key actions and start there. Sometimes it feels like brand is like a big elephant. How do you take a big bite out of it? That's how you take a bite out of it.
One bite at a time.
Exactly. And say, okay, what do we want to make sure is in place? What do we want to change? And now let's go do it. And that's why you're constantly brand building.
Big, bold brands, not bland. I love that. And yeah, again, I'm looking at your earrings, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. Speaking of colors and everything else, but they're clear on what they want to be known for. Okay. They speak the language of the people in the marketplace that you want to not only attract, but convert and do long-term business with. And bold brands are customer centric. I love the simplicity of all of that and everything that you do for people and helping them build a world-class brand.
Well, I want to see you succeed. I want you to hear that. And brand is one way that we can help you to succeed, because it's just a great way to have a conversation that's poised for you to enlarge your footprint in your marketplace. I want you to see that this is not, again, about fluff. This isn't just about making people feel good, but it's about serving in a way that separates you miles apart from the other options that someone else is considering. And they're going to turn around and they're going to look to you and say, can we work together? And your brand is going to help you get past where you are. It's going to level you up. You're going to find new boldness. And I believe that with the inclusion of your team around the table, it's going to allow your people to really shine in the way that they need to help uphold your reputation.
And they can shine and they're empowered to shine, so you don't have to. And that's ultimately going to give the entrepreneurial leaders more freedom to do whatever it is they want to be doing.
That's right.
Because they should only be doing the things that only they can do.
That's a good one, Mike. That's
yeah. So great brands are not built out by accident. They're built by growth-focused leaders who do things on purpose.
Yeah.
And big, bold brands are built by people who do things on purpose, consistently with focus and discipline. I love this.
Yeah.
This
so
is
take
awesome.
away from this conversation, like right now, take a moment. We'll just maybe pause for a second here on this chat and just ask myself, what has bubbled up in my mind today? To some degree, it's like, I believe the answers are going to present themselves to you. You're going to say, right now, when's the last time, we really looked at how we talk, look at our verbal brand? When's the last time we really updated our visual brand? A brand has a lifespan typically of about 5 to 8 years. Again, on average, every industry pivots differently, but colors are changing, relevance is there. And so ask yourself, when's the last time we really looked at how we say what we do to a total cold call type of stranger? Imagine that mystery caller. Maybe you should be a mystery caller to your business. And again, not to get anybody in trouble, but to realize your team might need to have refreshed language, and understanding understanding and insight in how they portray your company. Go back, look at the visual brand. Say, what does our logo really convey? Is there a story, or is it connecting with our target audience? Is that the look that they want to see that's relevant and engaging and dynamic to them? Okay, we eat with our eyes first. We got to brand with our eyes too. Okay.
Exactly.
And then lastly, think about just those ways that customer experience happens. As much as you want to attract someone and make the sale, equally show them that you value who they are and to keep their business. So take a takeaway just right now, write it down and just jot down, and then go look at your calendar. And I say, when's your next staff meeting with your team? Maybe that's a great time to tackle it. I know as business owners, it's overwhelming sometimes how much you need to do or want to do or can do. And so I just encourage business owners to put typically a quarterly appointment on their calendar, hold to it, and say, this is the day I'm going to work on my brand. Every quarter, I'm going to give myself a day. I'm going to get with my team. We're going to go back over our core values. We're going to look back at everything. If quarterly is too much for your company, maybe you do it semi-annually, but you got to keep it fresh and in front of you. And that's how it'll grow along. It won't become stagnant. That blandness won't sneak in because you're constantly pushing it forward and making it more relevant.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the 5 to 8 year period in which a brand might need to be updated. That's fantastic information as well.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how fast our vision, look at how fast our society and social media. And again, I'm not talking to stay on trend, but to stay relevant. Okay. Because no one wants to do business with an outdated brand. I just did some research recently, and it was amazing to look back at all the businesses. I won't name them all at the moment, but just think about businesses that were around, 5, 10, 15 years ago. We don't even need to go further than that. And how many couldn't keep up in their industry? And there's a variety of reasons, but I do believe they were beat out a lot of times because other companies were hyper-focused on their brand, on the aspects we've talked about today. And the same ones that big brands are paying millions of dollars in teams to work on, you have at your fingertips and at your disposal, and need to have the exact same level of intentionality. So you are toe-to-toe with all the big brand giants in this world because you are equipped to take yours from bland and make it all the bolder and better.
But the investment to stand toe to toe with these people is not ginormous like those other companies might be. It's it's smart. It's smart
strategic
investment.
And intentionality. That's exactly what we're telling you. You have the same tools because it's all that comes from your strategic intentionality to build your brand.
Yeah. And what I was going through, I had a couple of minutes ago, is if we want things to change, we have to change. Because if we're willing to change, everything will change for us. And I happen to know this about Selah because she has an extremely giving heart. And I love that about her, among many, many other things. But, she from time to time will come out and she'll make mini sessions available for people. So please go to expressmybrand.com. That's where you can find out a lot more about Selah Hirsch. expressmybrand.com. Check in with her, follow her, and I'm sure you're out there on all the other social media channels and beyond out there in the world. So, from time to time, I know she comes out and she says, I just want to help you guys today. I'm doing this mini session. So please do that. But more importantly than that, make sure that you connect with Selah Hirsch at Be Unstoppable Bootcamp this year. That's beunstoppablebootcamp.com. And it will be a life-changing and game-changing experience like it was for me when we had that impromptu meeting out by the beach.
Oh my goodness, you guys, I would love to meet you. I would love to meet you, your team bring your team out. There is going to be so much happening at this event. And I look at it as a way to create a marker, like in the stand. We're going to draw like a ditch and we're going to say, now we are going to the next level of true unstoppable growth. So bring your brand. Let's look at it together. I get so much joy sitting next to a business owner and saying, okay, what do we see here? What are we talking about here? What's the conversation around the table? What do you stand for? So bring it, be prepared, because it's going to challenge you to grow to your next level.
All anybody needs to get there is one thing, right? Or two things, actually. Do you know what they are?
I want you to tell everyone what they are. I think I know what they are, but I want to hear what you're going to say.
2 tickets to paradise.
That's what I... Hey, it's a strategic decision.
Exactly. 2 tickets to paradise. It's at Paradise Point this year. So that's where you want to be. Get your 2 tickets to paradise. And I don't have a rhyming part of the song that goes into it.
I'll work on that for you.
Exactly. We need to work on that. So 2 things real quick as we begin to wrap today. I'm looking at your earrings, and one of the things that's on your heart and is always on my heart as well is our youth. and helping our youth become more in today's world so that they can make maximum impact. And you got these awesome earrings on. Where did you get those?
Well, I'm so glad you noticed them because they're fun to wear today. And I got to tell you, I love supporting youth entrepreneurs. I mean, we're all entrepreneurs here in the conversation today. And that means we all beat with the same heartbeat, you know, to do good business, to make an impact in the world. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more I get excited about than the next generation being able to see that they have the ability to start big ideas now. They don't have to wait until they graduate. They don't need to come from an entrepreneurial type of family, you know, but I get a chance to work every week with youth that are from LoveWorks Leadership, and they're helping build up youth entrepreneurs, kids with character and courage who want to make a difference in the world around them, and kids from all kinds of different socioeconomic levels, from all different kinds of backgrounds, but held together again with the belief that they can be dreamers and doers. And so the earrings I'm wearing today is a company called Earrings by Emma, and it was started by a kid business owner. I encourage you to check them out. And now their family helps to run the kid business. This was all started by a kid with an idea, and there's a really special reason they started. So I'll let you go find out their brand story there. But she had a problem with sensitivity in her ears, and they found a way to create an earring so that any adult, you know, or a child could not have to have that sensitivity. And so there's innovation in youth at greater levels than I think than sometimes we give them the ability to dream. And so, Mike, I'm so excited to represent youth entrepreneurism today and encourage you as a business owner, make a difference in the ways you can with mentoring. Look for other youth that you can lean into, invite them to learn how to pitch, how to bring a product to market, how to make a sale, how to deliver great quality customer service, because I truly believe that the future of our nation is held in large part by the youth that are up and coming, and we can equip them to be dreamers and doers.
111%, without question. It's not a coincidence that this morning in my early morning reading, I was reading about an 11-year-old young entrepreneur. Her name was Michaela. She didn't just have a lemonade stand. She started a lemonade business.
Oh, yes.
And she actually ended up selling, licensing her lemonade brand to like 55 grocery stores. 11 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. And not only that, should we let them know another secret? I mean, we're giving away a lot of secrets today.
I like that our conversations have all these tidbits in them.
Another secret is Selah has been so kind to help impact the cousins. And if you know anything about the cousins, those are my grandkids, and we were doing cousins camp, but we trade secrets and thoughts and information and everything. And that's one of the many, many reasons that we've connected so well is that just helping, inspiring, and teaching and leading our youth in today's world. So thank you for doing that, Selah. And in addition to that, I don't know how she keeps it straight, because the last secret today only, okay, is she's also married to an Iron Man. I mean,
yep.
Talk about a lot going on.
My own version of Tony Stark, right, Mike?
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Tony Stark, Midwest.
That's right. He is. Oh, I'm so excited. My husband is of 16 years. Michael is, he loves to do Ironman races on the side. And I just am the cheerleader in the stands for him. And we are so excited to be cheering him on in an upcoming world championship race. And so our family will be out there cheering him on. He always has a mantra that comes, a kind of a seasonal word for every race that he pushes through. And I just get tears literally just pour out of my eyes on those days, because what I see are people, again, all different ages, all different levels of strength and body type, you name it, but all pursuing their big dream. And you'll love this because you know me, you know, I love brand. And so part of the Ironman brand is the mantra that anything is possible. And I believe that that's for you in the room, even if you're not an Ironman per se. But I want to encourage you that you can be unstoppable, that you are connected to the right source. You are dialed in to UPP. You're listening to Mike and you're gaining from his wisdom, and that truly anything is possible as you grow your business, as you leave a legacy for your family, and you make a beautiful impact in the community and the people you serve. Mike, thank you so much for having me on today. This has been a total blast.
I don't expect you to respond to this if it is part of what you're going to be doing in supporting your Ironman, Michael. Good luck to him, by the way. But you know the definition of impossible, right?
Yes.
So
I always like to hear the way you say things.
so you take the word impossible and you split out the I am and you put an apostrophe between the I and the M and hyphen possible. I'm possible. So
woohoo, that's right. And I will tell him that all day long. You know,
there you go.
As you walk through those seasons, you need people cheering you on in your corner saying, this is possible. What you're doing, you are possible. I love that.
Absolutely. And so if that's not built into the game plan yet, there's an add-on with our compliments and our gratitude to Selah Hirsch for being here today. Thank you, my friend. Super excited, super exciting to be able to get to connect with you at the upcoming Be Unstoppable Bootcamp. So if you want to learn more from Selah and experience an incredible brand leader in today's business society, she will be there live at the bootcamp. Get your 2 tickets to paradise by simply going to beunstoppablebootcamp.com. That's beunstoppablebootcamp.com. And in case something goes wrong, 800-770-9984. Selah, I can't wait. I am so looking forward to being there with you and all the other amazing agents who are there to grow their business, create wealth, so they too can have more freedom after they've got their brand out there on the streets to live life on their terms.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. I can't wait to see you there.
There's no other options. All right, Selah, have a great day. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Mike.
Right. See you. Bye.
Can't get enough of the Unstoppable Profit podcast? Come join our next live 3-day boot camp in warm, beautiful San Diego. Invest in your ticket today at beunstoppablebootcamp.com. That's beunstoppablebootcamp.com.